and welcome back to another episode of Size Eyes, the life of a long-term multitasker. So this is going to be part 2 of my ideal routine. So I thought I was going to just have one routine podcast. Little did I know that I was going to talk for 20 minutes on just one aspect of the routine. So let's see how many parts there are. But I'll go in as much detail as possible. I'll spare no detail. So I think I did a comprehensive look at my list journal that I fill out when I'm in bed with my lap desk. Highly recommend the lap desk, by the way, if I hadn't already mentioned that. Then after I put the journals aside, I will read. So I'll have I mentioned the book that I'll have on the nightstand next to me. So I'll open up the book and read that also on the lap desk. So definitely very convenient there. I'll read maybe 20-30 minutes or however long I feel. And I'll be taking notes on my phone, after the end of every chapter or what have you. So I'll be doing that. The phone, I'll usually put it in focus mode or bedtime mode or something, so that I don't get any notifications for anything like social media or texts or anything like that, so that I don't actually use my phone for anything other than notes. So that's important right there. And it also dims the screen and it only creates like black and white light. So it's easier on the eyes. I put it on the least brightness as well. So I do everything I can so that I don't have like that much screen time before I go to sleep. So I'll read and take notes on my phone on Notion, which that's like 5 podcasts or like a YouTube video series. But I take notes on my Notion. And then after, when I'm ready to sleep, I'll put the book aside. And I'll put the phone on the nightstand as well. And then I haven't done this much, but I want to start getting more into it. I've done it a couple times. Is a cleansing meditation. So it's best to do this at the end of the day. And it cleanses all your thoughts, words, and deeds that you've done, throughout the day. And so you can Google cleansing meditation and then see what results are there. But essentially, you're just picturing a form, an energy, your God, universe, whatever you want to, higher power, however you want to picture it, that energy orb, cleansing your three chakras. So your third eye chakra for all your actions. I think you're picturing get the order wrong. I think a white light coming there. Then you're going to picture a red light coming in from your master or God, whoever you want to picture there. A red light coming from their throat into your throat. For your throat chakra. So you're cleansing all the words that you have spoken throughout the day to purify that. If there's any mistakes or anything harsh that you've said to anyone, with the intent of purifying that. And then the third is you're picturing blue light coming from that energy source, source's heart, into your heart. And it's cleansing all your thoughts, And so those thoughts, words, and actions, you're cleansing all of those, I'm making sure that that you had the right intention, but it may not have gone exactly how you would have liked. So you're trying to purify those intentions, purify the results, etc., and cleanse everything that you thought, acted on, and said throughout the day. So I mean, that's the last thing, essentially, before I go to sleep. Although, like, while I'm going to sleep, while I'm like laying down, like lights off, everything, I will try to think of, the 3 best things throughout the day that I wrote down, right? So it's fresh on my mind, just kind of thinking of that as I'm going to sleep. And actually, the last thing that I've been doing it last couple times is I'm trying to manifest. And so I wrote this in my journal the other day, but I'm trying to wake up at a time that I will not predict, but that I will with my intentions and with my soul, that I don't use the alarm clock. I use it now just as the light, which is kind of nice. And so I'll have, I'll say, I'll wake up at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, fresh and energized, or something to that effect. And the time that I said I would wake up at 3:45, I did. This morning, or like last night, this morning, I said I'd wake up around 4 a.m. I woke up at 3:57, but then I felt a little sleepy and then went back to sleep. So I guess I didn't qualify it enough by saying that I would, wake up and be fresh or whatever. So I was right, but I ended up sleeping for an hour and a half, so I ended up waking up at like 5:30. But yeah, so that's, the last couple things that I do before I go to sleep. I guess I can just go into my morning and just fill this out for maybe 15 minutes and then continue from there. So when I wake up, so let's say I wake up at 5, I get 6 hours of sleep. I wake up at 5 a.m., no alarm clock. Wake up at 5. First thing I'll do, I'll check the clock. And ideally, I do this more, maybe 50, 60% of the time right now. I'm trying to get it to 100, where I say I'm grateful for something, or I'm saying gratitude statements. They don't have to be the ones that I wrote down yesterday in the list journal, but I just say a few gratitude statements. I'm grateful for waking up at this time. I'm grateful for this wonderful day that I have in front of me. I actually want to get into more of preemptive gratitude, which is being grateful for something that hasn't happened yet. So I think doing first thing in the morning is a great time for those, because you're trying to manifest it in your daily life. So so like it's in the morning, saying I'm grateful for the wonderful meetings that I'll have today. I'm grateful for the value that I'll be providing in these meetings. I'm grateful for my enhanced productivity today at work, or whatever. I'm grateful that I can help a homeless person today, whatever that is. I haven't been doing that much, but I want to start getting to that. But regardless, I'll say some sort of gratitude statements as the first thing, ideally. And then I'll drink some water. Yeah, I mean, I said granularity, so you're getting granularity. Then I'll drink some water. I do have 2 water bottles that I carry around at all times. One is the smaller one, a Tibco one that I got in college during a career fair. It's been through a lot. People in the Atlanta Sci Center will know. And then I have a different one that my brother gave when I went back home in July, which I've been carrying around. That also has a dent in it. So both of the indestructible bottles, these steel bottles, have dents in it because of my lack of care. So, drink some water, get hydrated. And the first thing I'll do, actually, after that is, probably gonna take a pee or something. But after I come back to bed, if I don't, I'll grab my journals, and I'll grab my lap desk, and then I will, if I hadn't already filled out the next day's, so like the last night, if I already hadn't filled out that morning's list journal template, so writing out the 3 Voxides, writing out the words, 3 best things, and listing them out, 1, 2, 3, and 3 worst things, 1, 2, 3, gratitude, 1, 2, 3, improvements, 1, and then drawing the boxes, the grid for the 6-time book for the problem solution, and the check 1, check 2, check 3. Oh, now I've also added a score at the bottom for the last week, a score for each of the check-ins, so 1 to 10 score. A lot of them have been 7 to 9, so that's good. But if I hadn't done that the previous night, I'll do that first thing. The next morning, that morning when I wake up, and then, so I will write, actually. So when I said in the previous episode that I will skip 3 lines and write Voxity, the 2 lines, 1 line for the gap, but the 2 lines I will fill it. I will write my affirmation. I have my kind of focused affirmations that I have, like 20, 25 of them, that I do my visualization meditation for. But then I have this one overarching general one that I created a few weeks ago that I've started, kind of inspired by when I went back home with my brother's affirmation, and then encouraging my dad and mom to also create general ones. I didn't have a general one, so I ended up creating one. It's, I am the creator. Everything that happens today, I have created. Today, I get to create the future. So I write that affirmation as the first 2 lines under, today is March 9th, so I'll write Tuesday, 3/9/21, and then I'll write that affirmation once, and then I should be good to go, hopefully, if I with the template, and if I'm not, then I'll fill in that template, and then I'll transition over to my freeform journal. So I'll put the list journal aside, I'll bring the freeform journal in, and I'll write same thing of Tuesday, March 3/9/21, and I'll just start writing. And those posts, the journal entries, those are my blog posts. So no need going in depth of what I write about because they're online. So I write write in my freeform journal. And that usually takes, that can range from 10 minutes to an hour plus, depending on what time it is, depending on how deep I'm going into that topic, depending on my mood. So depending on the previous day. So it just kind of varies. Sometimes it'll be half a page, sometimes it'll be 6 pages. So I'll go with the flow in terms of that. So then if I have time, okay, I know where to end. Then if I have time, I'll read as well. I'll read maybe 15, 20 minutes, take notes. So that'll be the first time again that I bring in my phone, but I'll hopefully still have it on the bedtime mode or whatever, so I won't be getting any notifications. And I will be taking notes while I'm reading. And by the time that happens, or maybe earlier if I don't even read, if I'm just journaling, biology will call and I will have to go to the bathroom. And the hack there, like I said, I'm not sparing any details. I will use Squatty Potty. So I definitely recommend that as, that's like the natural way to take a dump instead of these Western toilets. I mean, we use a Western toilet, but having your legs raised is a better position, and it's more fluid. Well, it's more at ease. I try not to bring my phone in. Sometimes I do, but I try not to bring my phone in because I'm only in there for a couple minutes and not going to be in there for 20 minutes like some people are. And so I'm only there for a couple minutes, make that as quick as possible. And then I come back out. And then I will continue the next thing on the next podcast. So this was my ideal routine part 2. I will return in the next episode with my ideal routine part 3. Thank you for listening to another episode of Size Eyes, the life of a long-term multitasker. I'll see you when I see you.